Welcome to TechDaily.ai. We're about to dive deep into, well, one of the fastest, maybe the highest stakes tech races happening right now, text-to-video AI. But hang on, before we jump in, just want to mention that this deep dive is sponsored by Stonefly. They're your trusted solution provider and advisor for basically all things enterprise data. Storage, backup, disaster recovery, hyper-converged setups like VMware, Hyper-V, Proxmox clusters, even AI servers, and that SA365 turnkey security appliance. Public cloud, private cloud, they handle the complex stuff. You can check them out at stonefly.com for more info. Definitely worth a look.
Okay, so for months, it felt like Google's VO3 was kind of the undisputed champ, right? Generating really realistic video from just text prompts.
Yeah, it was the big thing. Part of the Gemini Pro subscription, very polished. Yeah, exactly. The crown jewel. Then, boom, OpenAI drops Sora 2. Almost out of nowhere. And it feels like the whole landscape just shifted. The bar for realism just got shattered. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to synthesize these pretty intense side-by-side comparisons that are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
We want to figure out what this massive leap really means for you, whether you're a creator or just, watching this stuff online.
It's genuinely wild how fast this space moves. We basically went from asking, can AI even make a video, to like, which AI is better at tricking us in, 6 months maybe?
Feels like it, yeah.
And Google definitely had that lead. VO3 could do some hyper-realistic short clips, no doubt. But Sora 2, it really has upended things. So now we got to look at the nitty-gritty, the physics, the lighting, the new features, see who's actually winning this creative battle.
Right. Let's dive straight into the realism showdown then, because that's where the older models always fell apart. Physics specifically. So the first test people looked at was simple, but really revealing. A photorealistic shot of espresso being poured into a white cup in slow motion.
And if you remember Sora 1 or even earlier models, liquids were just terrible, thick, gloopy stuff like tar splashing all wrong.
Yeah, zero natural viscosity. The illusion broke instantly.
Exactly.
Now, VO3, Google's model, was a huge improvement there. It looked, honestly, pretty professional. The coffee swirl, the thickness felt convincing.
It did. Much better.
It had this little tell. The espresso only came out of one side of the, the portafilter thingy.
Right, which showed, okay, the AI gets texture, but it doesn't quite get the object consistency or how the machine should, function properly.
It's still making small but noticeable physical errors.
And that's where Sora 2, in that specific test anyway, just kind of nailed it. It showed really realistic physics. The pour, the liquid behavior looked flawless, didn't have those visible errors that VO3 had.
So for just pure high fidelity, does this look real?
See, Sora 2 took that round, yeah. Best of the bunch in that test.
Okay, but hold on. I wouldn't count VO3 out just yet, because the analysis gets interesting when you move to bigger scenes, more complex environments. Take the next test. A motorcyclist riding along a beach at sunset. This one seems to flip the script.
It really does. This was actually a major win for VO3, surprisingly.
How so?
Well, Sora 2 kind of repeated the mistakes of Sora 1 here. The motorcycle would glide weirdly or fishtail into the water. It didn't seem to understand the friction, the sand interaction.
It looked unnatural.
Yeah, but VO3, it delivered a shot that felt cinematic. Genuinely. The bike moved how you'd expect on sand. It left a clear tread mark, kicked up a trail of dust, and the lighting.
Ah, the lighting. Tell me about that.
That was the key. Stunning low sun, casting these long, dramatic shadows. You got realistic glints off the chrome. It felt like it was shot by a pro.
So that suggests maybe Google trained VO3 differently, more on traditional film or VFX data?
That's the theory. It seems to give it an edge in these controlled, sort of dramatic lighting situations. It understands atmosphere and light interaction maybe better in those contexts.
Interesting. So it's not just one thing called realism.
Exactly. Sora 2 seems better at raw physics and just rendering objects accurately, especially complex ones. But VO3 might have this niche, unbelievable atmospheric lighting and shadow. Different strengths.
Okay, let's push it further. Complex, messy reality, the kind of stuff that usually breaks AI. The prompt was, iconic yellow taxi driving along Kolkata's streets during a bright day.
Oh yeah, older systems just fell apart here. Sora 1, terrible object permanence. People would merge into walls or just pop into existence.
Right, and VO3.
VO3 captured some of the atmosphere, but the taxi itself had this weird, subtle sliding motion. It wasn't quite grounded. Suggests maybe it struggled with depth or just how vehicles are supposed to move. Plus, any text, on signs or the taxi, gibberish.
Unreadable nonsense. Okay, and Sora 2.
just walked away with it. It nailed the authentic feel, the texture, the chaos, the light. And crucially, you could actually read small details. You could see the people inside the taxi, clearly.
Wow.
You could easily mistake that clip for real documentary footage. It's that good.
What's the big takeaway for you in that comparison, the readable text?
That's a huge leap, yeah. If an AI can reliably render coherent text within a complex, moving scene, that means its internal understanding of the world, its semantic grasp, is way, way better.
Gotcha. So, okay, summing up the visual showdown.
Right.
Sora 2, generally ahead on high-fidelity, chaotic realism and physics. But VO3 still holds an edge in certain cinematic aspects, particularly lighting and environmental effects like sand and dust.
That seems fair, yeah.
It's nuanced.
All right. Moving beyond just how it looks, what's the single biggest functional leap that Sora 2 brings? The thing that turns it from a cool tech demo into, like, a tool people can actually use?
Oh, hands down, it's the synchronized audio.
Right. Sora 1 was silent, completely silent. Sora 2 generates a full soundscape. Dialogue, background noise, sound effects tied to the action you see, even music cues, all generated alongside the video.
That's massive for workflow.
It saves hundreds of hours in post-production. You go from a research project to something that can genuinely speed up creative work almost instantly.
Okay, but then there's the feature that feels almost science fiction, the one that really blurs the lines, Cameo.
Ah, Cameo, yeah. This lets you insert your own face and, crucially, your own voice into these AI scenes.
Which solves that uncanny valley problem for characters, right? If it's your face, it looks consistent.
Exactly. It solves a consistent realism problem for people, and the process itself is disturbingly simple.
How simple?
You record like a 5-second selfie video, turn your head, look up, follow the prompts, and boom, it creates this high-fidelity digital twin of your likeness and your voice pattern.
Okay, that's slightly terrifying. But you control it, right? You can set who uses your digital twin.
That's the idea, yes. Safeguards are built in only me, approved creators, etc. But philosophically, it's a huge jump. The AI isn't just making a character, it's making you in a scene you never performed.
Yeah, the implications for likeness rights, digital identity.
Wow. It opens up crazy possibilities, though. Rapid prototyping for films, virtual spokespeople, putting yourself in a movie trailer just for fun.
And it's not just Cameo. The general creative power is up too, right? Longer videos, more styles.
Yep. Sora 2 can do up to 20 seconds at 1080p standard or 15 seconds at higher res for pro users. That's significantly longer continuous generation. And the stylistic range is wider, painterly, moody, cinematic. You can feed it complex prompts, even upload storyboards apparently, and get back a finished scene with audio.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Filmmakers using this for previews that looks totally real, skipping huge chunks of expensive pre-production.
Or a small business owner.
Exactly. Spinning up dozens of tailored, polished ads in minutes. It just crushes the time between having an idea and having a finished video asset.
Yeah. Okay, so the power is undeniable. Let's talk about the market side. Access and cost. How do you actually get this power? Google's VO3 is still tied to that Gemini Pro subscription.
Still the main way, yeah. $20 a month.
And Google's keeping it on a tight leash?
Very tight, hard limits. Pro users get, what, 3 videos a day? Or maybe 100 a month through their Flow credit system. It's definitely positioned as a scarce, high-value perk.
Okay. And OpenAI with Sora 2, how are they handling the rollout?
Carefully, very carefully. Standard Sora 2 is free for now, but it's invite only, starting in the US and Canada. They're using a 1 invites 4 system to try and control the spread.
Viral marketing, basically.
Right.
But controlled.
Right. And anyone can get on the waitlist at Sora.com.
Then there's the Pro tier.
Yep. Sora 2 Pro, that'll set you back $200 a month. Pretty steep.
What does that buy you?
Higher resolution output, and you get that maximum 15-second duration for the high-res stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker, the big limitation for commercial use right now.
The watermark.
The watermark is still there. On all videos and drafts, even for pro users, you cannot use this stuff in a final commercial project with a big generated by Sora watermark plastered on it. Not yet, anyway.
So that tells us a couple of things. One, they're prioritizing safety and, letting people know it's AI over immediate commercial dollars.
Definitely seems that way. And two, they're maybe bracing for a huge user base, which kind of fits with the new app they released.
Right, the dedicated iOS Sora app. That's not just for making videos, is it?
No, it's more than that. It's like a creation hub and a social network combined. It has a discovery feed like TikTok or Instagram Reels, and community remixing features. You can take someone else's prompt or video and riff on it.
So they're signaling a bigger play here. not just a tool for creators, but maybe a competitor in the short-form video space itself. A potential TikTok rival built on AI generation.
That looks like the clear intent. Yeah, it's a bold move.
Okay, so this incredible power, this potential social platform, it naturally led to some immediate chaos when users first got their hands on it.
Oh, yeah. A meltdown of epic proportions, you could say.
What kind of stuff were people making right out of the gate?
The Wild West. Just instantly. People generating clips of copyrighted characters doing outrageous things, like SpongeBob cooking meth was one infamous example.
Seriously?
Yep. Full AI-generated episodes of South Park started appearing. Then, more controversially, you had photorealistic videos of deceased celebrities, Michael Jackson, Tupac, Bob Ross even.
Wow. And deepfakes of living people, too.
Oh, yeah. There was a viral one of an AI developer creating fake CCTV footage of Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, supposedly shoplifting, just to show it could be done.
Yikes. Okay, so that immediately throws the copyright issue into sharp focus.
Huge focus. And it created this interesting contrast. VO3, Google's tool, apparently generated this amazing video of the Mandalorian just walking through Bangkok, high quality, no problem.
Suggesting maybe Google's guardrails are different, or their training data handled IP differently.
Possibly. Or maybe they just haven't faced the same level of public scrutiny yet. Sora 2, on the other hand, after some initial reports of users generating things like Pokemon, quickly started refusing requests for copyrighted characters, earned a DNF, did not finish on those tests.
So OpenAI slammed the brakes on that.
They had to. Their initial policy was, let's say, controversial. It basically required rights holders to actively opt out if they didn't want their characters or content replicated by the AI.
Which predictably caused uproar.
Massive uproar, especially from big media companies. So OpenAI pivoted fast. They promised more granular control, which sounds a lot more like an opt-in or permission-based system. They agreed to work with rights holders to block specific characters if requested.
Unnecessary reversal.
And Sam Altman even floated this kind of radical idea about maybe share revenue with rights holders who allow their characters to be used for fan creations, sort of acknowledging, look, if we can't fully stop it, maybe we can find an ethical way to monetize it.
Interesting approach. And what about combating the misinformation side, the deepfakes?
Well, there's the watermark, obviously. But also, Sora 2 outputs include embedded metadata, C2PA-style metadata.
Okay, translate C2PA for us.
Think of it like a digital fingerprint baked into the video file itself. It provides signals about where the content came from, how it was made, confirming it's AI-generated.
So platforms can read that.
Exactly. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok, which now require creators to disclose synthetic content, can use this metadata to verify the source and help users tell what's real and what's AI. It's about provenance.
Right. Transparency. Okay, so we've looked at the tech, the features, the access, the cost, the ethics, the immediate fallout. So what does this all mean? Where does this leave us right now?
I think the core insight really is that the technical challenge of generating realistic audio-synced video, that's largely been solved. We're past the if, you know. AI can make scenes that easily fool the human eye, complete with sound.
Genie is out of the bottle, technically speaking.
Pretty much. The challenges now aren't technical anymore. They're purely ethical, legal, and operational. It's all about control, cost, access, and putting guardrails on technology that has, frankly, outrun our policies.
Right. And Sora 2 just hammers that home by lowering the barrier to entry for video creation to almost zero.
Almost zero. If you can type an idea, you can potentially create a high-quality film asset in seconds.
Which leads to the big, kind of scary question. If ideas are the new currency and the actual execution can be outsourced to AI, how does that change the whole marketplace of human creativity? What happens to the value of a video that took weeks or months to shoot and edit when an AI can generate something comparable, maybe not identical, but comparable, for basically free?
That is the essential question, isn't it? If a creator's main value used to be their skill in execution, cinematography, editing, sound design, what is their value proposition now when a huge chunk of that execution can potentially be automated?
Something for all of us to think about. Wow. Okay, thank you for breaking all that down. That was a deep dive indeed.
Fascinating times.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive on TechDaily.ai. We'll see you next time.